We are back with part 2 of reading the cousins. Let's see. We're on page 6. And how many pages? Hold on, let me see how many pages are on. I didn't think about that from the beginning. Okay, hold on. There's 325 pages, and there is how many chapters are there? Hold on. I wonder how many chapters are there. It's not telling me how many chapters there are. I gotta look it up. Hold on. I gotta look it up real quick. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Yes, I'm literally looking it up right now. Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay, there are. Hold on. Yeah, I've got a lot of reads. I know that. Okay. How many pages? Okay, it doesn't say how many. Just this number of pages, 337. Okay, I got that part. Wait, this is 21 chapters. Oh, wait, hold on. I got the wrong one. Okay, that's the right one. Okay, it says there's 21 chapters. Oh! Okay, so there's 21 chapters in this book. That's what it's telling me. Doesn't mean it's actually true, but we are wasting. Why are you wasting 2 minutes looking at it? But let's get back to where we were. Okay. It says, the good doesn't cut it when you're trying to keep up in Manhattan. Or Manhattan. And it's not what my mother grew up with. A job promotion, I decided. That must be it. Which is excellent news, except for the part where she's going to remind me that she got it through hard work. And, oh, by the way, why can't I work harder at literally everything? I'll have the Caesar salad with chicken, no anchovies, dressing on the side. Mom says, handing her menu to the server, without really looking at him. And another glass of white wine, please. Very good. And the young lady, ordering to buy medium rare and a jumbo baked potato. I tell him I might as well get a good meal out of it, of whatever is about to go down. When he leaves, my mother drains her wine glass and I gulp my water. My bladder's already full from the salsa at the bar, and I'm about to excuse myself for the restroom. My mom says, I got the most interesting letter today. There it is. Oh? I wait, but when she doesn't continue, I prod. From who? Whom? She corrects, automatically. Her fingers trace the base of her glass as her lips curve up under another half notch. From your grandmother. I blink at her. From Baba? Why that mercs this kind of build up? I had no idea. Granted, my grandmother doesn't contact mother often, but it's not unprecedent. Baba is the type of person who likes to forward articles she reads to anyone she thinks might be interested. And she still does that with mother post-divorce. No, your other grandmother. What? Now I'm really confused. You got a letter from Millard? I don't have a nickname for my mother's mother. She's not Grandma or Mimi or Nana or anything to me because I've never met her. I did. The server returns with Mom's wine and she takes a long, grateful sip. I sit in silence, unable to wrap my head around what she just told me. My grandmother loomed large over my childhood, but as more of a fairy tale figure than an actual person. The wealthy little widow of Abraham's story, those great something grandfather who came over on the Mayflower. My ancestors are more interesting than any storybook. The family made a fortune in whaling, lost most of it in railroad stocks, and eventually sank what was left into buying up real estate on a crappy little island off the coast of Massachusetts. Gull Cove Island was a little-known heaven for artists and hippies until Abraham's story turned it into what it is today, a place where rich and semi-famous people spend ridiculous amounts of money pretending they're getting back into nature. My mother and her 3 brothers grew up on a giant beachfront estate named Catman House, riding horses and attending black tie parties like they were the princess and princesses of Gull Grove Island. There was a picture on our apartment mantel of Mom when she was 18, stepping out of a limousine on her way to the summer gala her parents threw every year. As a result, her hair is piled high, and she's wearing a white ball gown and gorgeous diamond eardrop necklace. Miller gave the ball gown and gorgeous diamond his mom could ever wear. Miller gave that necklace to my mother when she turned 17, and I used to think Mother would pass it along to me when I hit that same birthday. Didn't happen, even though Mother never once wanted to wear it herself. My grandfather died when Mom was a senior in high school. 2 years later, Miller disowned all of her children. She cut them off financially and personally with no explanation, except for a single sentence letter she sent 2 weeks before Christmas through her lawyer, a man named Donald Cameron, who known Mom and her brothers their entire lives. You know what you did. Mom has always insisted she has no clue what Miller meant by that. The 4 of us had gotten selfish, I suppose, she'd tell me. We were all in college, then starting our own lives. Mother was lonely with Father gone, and she begged us to visit all the time, but we didn't go. She calls her parents that Mother and Father like the heroine in a Victorian novel. None of us came back for Thanksgiving that year. We all made other plans. She was furious, but Mom always got a possessive, faraway look on her face. Then that's such small thing, hardly unforgivable. If Abraham's story didn't set up an educational trust for Mom and her brothers, they may not have graduated college. Once they did, though, they were on their own. At first, they regularly tried to reassemble contact with Miller. They hounded Donald Cameron, though only response was occasional email in her decision. They sent invitations to their weddings and announcements when their kids were born. They even took turns showing up on Gull Grove Island, where my grandmother still lives, but she would never see or speak to them. I used to imagine that one day she waddled into our apartment, dripping diamonds and fur, and announced that she come for me. Her namesake. She whisked me toy store and let me buy whatever I wanted and handed me a sack of money to bring home to my parents. I'm pretty sure my grandmother had the same fantasy. Why else would you saddle a 21st century girl with a name like Miller? But my grandmother, with the help of Donald Cameron, stonewalled our children at every turn. Eventually they stopped trying. Mom is looking at me spectacularly and realized I was waiting for an answer. You got any letter from Millard? I asked. She nods and clears her throat before answering. Well, to be more precise, you did. I did? My vocabulary has shrunk to almost nothing in the past 5 minutes. The envelope was addressed to me, but the letter was for you. A decade-old image pops into my head, me with long-lost grandmother filling a shopping cart to the rim with stuffed animals while dressed like we were going to an opera, tiaras and all. I pushed that thought aside and gulped for more words. Why? My mother reaches into her purse and pulls out an envelope and then pushes it across the table towards me. Maybe you should just read it. I lift the flap and pull out a folded sheet of thick cream-colored paper that smells faintly of lilac. The top is engraved with the initials MMS. Miller Margaret Story. Our names are almost exactly the same, except mine has Terashi at the end. The short paragraphs are typewritten, followed by a cramped, spidery signature. That was part 2 of me reading the story called The Cousins. Stick around for part 3, I guess.